guest.
Yes, we've got another Aussie icon joining us on the sofa who starred in hit movies like Bridesmaids and Pitch Perfect. Rebel Wilson is here.
Good morning, Rebel.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, it's awesome to be here.
Love the new book. It feels like you're actually there. And, I mean, I know we've got the audio book
You were there for me, Rebel. You were in my ear because I got the audio
I mean, so many people have been loving the audio book as well because
good.
I actually, you know, you hear me and you can go out on a walk while you're listening to it. But when I wrote it, I kind of wanted it to be like I'm literally just sitting down with you.
Yes.
And I'm giving you my life story.
Warts and all.
Yeah.
Yorkshire
I know. Well, definitely
accent
warts
and all.
Yeah, the Yorkshire accent is still in there. Have you had any feedback from anyone from Yorkshire about your Yorkshire accent?
I don't think my Yorkshire accent is that great. Remember, I learnt it when I was 16 for a play. But I give it a go.
It's good.
Yeah. What is it? It's like, my first line in this play was, oh, here you are, you, gassing and ears, if you want to please, instead of getting on with your work. So it's not that great. But again, I was not a professional actress.
Rebel, when I listened to that, I was going, right, what is she actually saying? And all I've done there is I've just watched your lips to try and work out what you were saying as well.
It was a very long time ago.
That was a play called When We Are Married. And,
Which I know,
Yeah, it was a great play.
And I love the fact that I think you were about to get kicked out of the play because your accent wasn't good enough.
Yes.
And you got an English...
I don't think accents are my strong point.
Have you decided that now?
Yeah, although I can do quite a good South African, and I think because, as I say in the book, I lived in South Africa for a year, so I can be like, no, Rebel, you don't have a good South African accent.
Oh, that's great.
You do. I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
Diplomatic immunity.
Yeah,
I got it from Lethal Weapon.
And if you do words like rhino.
Rhino, the black rhino.
Yeah,
the black rhino.
But that was one of the things
very dangerous.
in the book when you were talking about going to South Africa and you were like, oh, I thought I'd be singing in the bush with Pumbaa.
Yeah, I felt like it was going to be like The Lion King. Turns out, nothing like The Lion King.
Johannesburg, back in the day.
Yeah, back in the very dangerous place. I mean, a country that was full of beauty and majestic. Like, one time I climbed a mountain and then I saw wild baboons at the top of the mountain as the sun was rising. Like, stuff like that, incredible to see animals in
their natural environment,
in the nature, like see lions and stuff. Like, it's insane. Yeah. But very dangerous. And then I ended up getting malaria and almost dying. But that led to me becoming an actress. I had this hallucination that I was an actress when I was in hospital. And then that changed the whole trajectory of my life.
And it wasn't just a hallucination. It was actually like you won an Oscar.
Yeah.
In your mind. I mean, you went straight to the top.
I
Even when you were hallucinating.
And it was like, Oprah would say, like, the universe would give you, like, signs of what you should do with your life. And then this was a full-blown hallucination that I win an Academy Award and I get up on stage and I give an acceptance rap because, another story in the book is that I had a rap group with my sister because, you know...
Sisters.
Yeah, girls. I love that you remember the name.
Of course.
Because, girls from Sydney are, like, so gangster. You know, you think of a blonde girl from Sydney and you think, yeah, gangster. But we tried. I never got a record contract with my rap group.
Still time.
You know,
Still time. Never say never, Rebel.
Weird.
I think what strikes you when you're listening to the book or reading the book is the Rebel that we know and we've got to love as a movie star who is confident and funny and sassy and willing to take on all sorts of complicated different issues was not always like that, and you were actually really quite a shy young girl.
I know, well, like, when I started life, well, first of all, I had lead poisoning from the old house when I was a baby, and they had lead in the paint that was chipping off the walls. So I was, you know... I don't know, a bit of a rough start, I think. And then I was just so painfully shy. I was just born that way. And then it was something that I really wanted to change about myself, but I didn't know how. And then one day I was like eating my lunch in the library just by myself, and I read this article saying that your personality at 15 will basically be your personality for life. And I thought, oh, well, I don't want to be so shy. There's not that there's anything wrong with being shy. It's just that I couldn't really express myself to people, and you know, it felt like being in a prison at times, and so I wanted to learn, and so I thought, well, okay, I've still got some time, and then I bizarrely came across this gym bag full of cassette tapes that my father had. which gave all sorts of tips about like improving your life. I guess they were kind of motivational tapes. And he just had them in the back of the car, and I started listening to them. And then one of the first things, like, I just really wanted to overcome my shyness. And so I forced myself to do things like speak to 5 different people every day, like new people.
So cool.
And like, of course, at first it was really awkward and like my face would go red and everything. And I'd be on the bus and say to another girl like, oh, hi, how's it going? You going to school? Yeah, me too. You know, like just stupid stuff. But then eventually you feel like, other people might also be feeling lonely and isolated as well, and me having a chat with them might have been the highlight of their day. And then, well, long story short, eventually, you know, I did change my personality and kind of became popular at high school and stuff.
Do you think you became more you? Because I mean, that's the interesting thing: is the rebel we see you, or is there still a shy girl in there that sort of that performs and goes big and goes large because she's sort of still fighting that?
There is at times, like especially if I have to perform live in a theatre or something. Like, I still get a bit nervous about it. But I've definitely, I think, I've overcome so much from when I was. But in some little areas, yeah, I definitely because I was a late bloomer in love. So dating was something I felt very, very shy about going on dates. And that's why in 2019, when I was really single, I realised, and, you know, getting into my 40s, I was like, I need to, like, go on more dates and, like, just to have more experience. And so I did my own little experiment. I went on, dated, 50 men in... Well, not at the same time, people.
Wow.
Settle down.
That'll be that's a TV show there, Rebel.
Yeah, it was like anyone who asked me out, I had to say yes in my little experiment.
Okay.
And I did, and I you know, and then I got more comfortable dating.
Because there's a whole chapter in the book that's dedicated to being a late bloomer.
Yeah, I know, because I did lose my virginity late compared to a lot of people.
Yeah.
35?
Yeah, 35 years old.
The fascinating thing about that, Rebel, is that the characters you always played that we saw you were always so confident. They were always so sexy. They were always so sassy.
Fat Amy, probably the character that I'm most popular for, is so uber confident. And in a lot of areas in my life, like, I was really confident. I just felt like, okay, I grew up in a very conservative Christian background. And I was my mum encouraged me, like, don't have kids early, like, go out into the world and have your career. And so I did that, and then I kind of struggled with self-worth issues, and then I thought, oh, well, relationships are not for me, and I never entertained it, and I had, like, this Olympic athlete level focus in order to make it in the entertainment business. And then I suddenly realised, oh, my God, and then it became an embarrassing secret, which I never told anyone until I wrote it in the book.
And you told quite a few people now.
Yeah, and then now everybody knows about it, so now I'm fine to talk about it. But at first I was like, oh, gosh, should I put that in? But I think what's been really great is that people have contacted me on social media and said, thank you so much for saying that, because, you know, maybe not everyone loses it when they're teenage years, and, you know.
It feels like there's a lot of you taking control of lots of issues in your life in this book. Of course, there's a lot of controversy about the chapter that's all about lots of different people you met, but Sacha Baron Cohen is one of them. I think
I noticed the media tends to pick up on that chapter,
well, you can
which is just a small part in the book.
It is a small part, but it's created quite a lot of controversy.
Yeah.
The chapter's redacted over here as well.
Yeah, I think there's about a page and a half.
Blacked out.
It is redacted,
it's all
which,
very
I mean,
dramatic.
all I would read into that is, you know, someone who's expressed that they're litigious, and sometimes the way the defamation laws are, me being legally trained,
You're a lawyer.
know quite a lot about this.
Yep.
You know, somebody with some wealth and power can sometimes use the laws to their advantage, and, you know, and so that's just the book publisher mitigating their risk.
He said he denied all the claims that are made in the book. Printing falsehoods against the law in the UK and Australia. It's not a peculiarity, as you've described the fact it's redacted here and in Australia. It's a legal principle that existed for many hundreds of years. It's a clear victory for Sacha Baron Cohen and confirms all we've said from the beginning, that it's demonstrably false and a shameful and failed effort to sell books.
Well, OK, that's interesting, but obviously this is a story that I've told since it happened about 10 years ago. And, I mean, whatever, it's his right to say whatever he wants, and I'm not about cancelling people. I'm about sharing my story, and that happened to be the worst experience of my career. And I'm sharing it in the hopes that, you know, that kind of stuff happens less in the industry. And I've learnt definitely firsthand it is very hard to speak up against somebody in the public eye. And so I really respect people that do come out and say stuff, because I have learnt firsthand like how hard it can be.
And all these moments in the book, no matter how difficult or hard they were, inform where you are now.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess why I wanted to write about that experience, because it did happen 10 years ago. If I was the woman I am now, I would have left that set. I wouldn't have continued.
Yes.
And I felt a bit of shame about staying on that movie set. And so I guess writing it releases that shame.
Yeah, and I also feel like you're so honest throughout the rest of the book.
Oh, yeah, brutally honest.
About yourself, about it, like it's so...
I embarrass myself most of the time.
Jaw-droppingly at times. I mean, it's incredible.
But what's so nice is how happy you seem now as well. You seem very happy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I've had to overcome in my life, but obviously the end of the story is a very happy story because I am engaged.
Congratulations.
Yeah, Disneyland.
Thank you. Yes, I got engaged at Disneyland. It was so cliche. On Valentine's Day.
Even better.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever makes you happy.
And I struggled with fertility. I have something called PCOS, and the end of my story is I have a beautiful baby daughter, Royce, who is just... Oh, she melts my heart. Oh, there she is. And she's just started talking and she says, like, I love you. And I'm like,
Lord.
oh, my gosh. And she just melts my heart.
Achy heart.
And it was brilliant. And it was I went through 5 rounds of IVF to get her. And I just, like, honestly, it's worth every moment of that emotional roller coaster. Anyone who's dealing with fertility stuff knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant how open and honest you are.
Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed listening to you.
I felt like, okay, like, if I'm doing a dance routine or something, I'm going full out. And so if I'm writing a memoir, I am going full out. And I am going to tell you everything, you know, things about the entertainment business, things about weight, sexuality, everything. So there it all is.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably go real private.
Yeah.
Now you're going to
disappear somewhere for a bit.
Just go and be a mum.
Yeah, exactly.
And have a lovely married life as well. Have you got dates for the wedding? Is there anything?
Probably it'll be next year.
Next year?
Okay. Yeah.
And country, you're going to do it Australia, you're going to go America, you coming here?
I feel like it's going to be a beach wedding, but I just don't know what beach. Yeah.
There's a few beaches to choose from.
Somewhere exotic.
Yeah, I mean, Australia does have...
Yeah, amazing. Well, you should be very proud of it. It's brilliant. Well done.
Thank you
it's
so much.
Absolutely brilliant.
I know, and it's going so well. It's like the number 2 book right now in the UK. So I'm very proud of it, and even if it affects 10 people's lives positively, it's well worth it.
I think it
will.
Well said. Rebel, thank you for coming in. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
And Martin Kemp joins us now.
Great to be here.
Every time you go anywhere, any
it is
show,
the supermarket, anywhere.
If they have they ever done that? Because sometimes they play music. Have you ever noticed someone put the tracks on while they've been walking around a shop?
Yeah, of course.
Seriously?
Yeah, of course. And they're all looking over the counter as well.
Oh, got it.
That's brilliant. So you've got a new show on Saturday night,
Yeah.
Greatest Hits of the 80s. I mean, I want to say why and how now, but it's kind of like, why is it not already happening, right?
Well, I've always done Friday nights on Greatest Hits Radio.
Mixtape.
Yeah, I do 70s, 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like party nights, gets the weekend going. But now we're doing Saturday nights as well, 7 till 10, and we're just going to do all 80s.
Just 80s.
Yeah.
Just brilliant.
And from your perspective, Martin, you think the 80s is your favourite decade? You think it's got the...
It's the 80s that, you know, it's the decade that I grew up in, that, you know, I became a man in. And, you know, everybody's got their favourite decade. When I was growing up, my mum and dad were talking about how good the 60s were.
Right.
You know, and... but for us, for my generation, it was the 80s. It was a decade of everything was larger than life, from the hair to the shoulder pads to, you know, a lot of people, if you were lucky, were earning big money. And it was all larger than life. So it's a great decade to look back on.
You've actually spoken before about that nightclub, the Blitz, and how everybody would go down there, and it was kind of like you could dream as big as you wanted to dream.
It was all about ambition. You know, the 80s was like, if you've got to imagine what it was like in 79, right?
Yeah.
From 79 to 80, on that New Year's Eve, it was like somebody switched a colour switch on. And all those magazines that were in, like New Musical Express and Melody Maker, all in black and white, all turned to smash hits, the Face, Everything became in colour. Even my mum and dad never got a colour TV until 1980.
Oh, really?
So everything just exploded. And it was... And I think that's why we look back at it so fondly as well, because it wasn't just us who changed as people, it was the tech as well. So records were sounding better, everything was becoming bigger and better.
The clothes were certainly better. I remember looking at old Spandau pictures
could say
and videos.
that,
No, I do. I still think
that.
Well, because as the decade turned, I was 6 in 1980 and had all these. I mean, it felt like the decade of possibilities. Like
It was
possible.
exactly
For sure.
It was ambition. You were allowed to dream.
Yeah, and you could wear outrageous clothes and no one judged you for it.
Yeah.
Your mum made a load of your clothes, is that right?
Yeah, my mum made some... If we were going on Top of the Pops, my mum would get the machine out the night before and run it up. But, you were allowed to wear what you wanted to, and we definitely did.
She made you trousers, but she didn't put any zip in them, is that right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And we went up, we were doing promo with Spandau Ballet once. We were on a little aeroplane going to Belgium, and all of a sudden, it was only when we were up in the air that we realised there was no zip in them. Which wasn't good.
No.
Stop drinking.
Sipping
Yeah,
water.
wasn't good.
Sipping water. And you're travelling all around the country at the moment DJing.
Well, you know, the first reason I wanted to do Greatest Hits on a Friday night was because I go out and I gig 80s on Friday and Saturday night.
Must be so...
Back
Because you
to
can see the
80s
whites
tour.
of people's eyes.
Yeah, I wanted music for them to get ready to before they come to our gigs.
Yes.
But I do probably about 130 shows a year.
Wow.
And so we're always out every weekend, and it's 1,000 people just singing their hearts out. You can't... It is the most euphoric thing I have ever been involved in.
Brilliant.
You know, I do so much of it, but every time it doesn't fail to astound me how the adrenaline and endorphins that I get from it.
Are the Spandau fans still as sort of intense and crazy as they were? Did one of them once pull your arm?
They're a
out
bit
of
older
socket?
now.
But so they're not quite as touchy-feely. You were in one gig and a Spandau van reached up, grabbed your arm and pulled it out of its...
Yeah, but it was lucky because the roadie came on and put it back in.
Mel Gibson style.
I was in Japan, and then the next night I had to go on, and they thought in Japan what they'd do, strap it up, they'd put loads of little needles around it.
Oh, yeah,
because
acupuncture,
little tight, about 100 little ones. So the next night I was on stage, it was the most painful night I'd ever been in. It wasn't the dislocated shoulder that I was worried about. It was the needles.
They put in.
So what happens when you're travelling around the country? Does Shirley come with you?
No.
So how do you do
it?
it?
You don't take your wife to work, do you? Or your husband or your partner to work with you.
Yeah.
And it's work, and I get off and I go and do it. But it's good because Shirley and I'm a big believer in you have to have your own space in a relationship. And if you're allowed to be your own person as well, and you have to keep that. And that's when you come back together, it's a lot better.
Your son is taking his dad to work at the moment, though, as well.
Yeah.
It's taking dad to work day because you've got a new podcast.
Yeah, we've got a podcast, came out yesterday. I'm not allowed to say the beginning of the prefix of the title, but you can look at that for yourself. But the rest of it is My Dad is Martin Kemp. So you'll have to have a look at what that is. But, Roman came to me and he said, Dad, I've got an idea for a podcast. I want... Before you die, I want all the information that you've got, all those nuggets of knowledge that you have in your head, wisdom, I want to find out what they are so that when you do go, I can look back on the tape and find out if I've got a problem, what the answer is.
Do you know what I love about this, Martin? It sounds very like the sort of conversation me and my brother and sister have with my dad as well. You're just very honest and open about it, have a really good laugh, but he genuinely is sitting there going, right then, Dad, so when you die, where do you think you're going to make the BAFTAs roll of call, NTAs, TV Quick Awards?
That's what Roman asked me. But listen, Roman and I, this is like us on Gogglebox sofa, but X-rated.
So charming.
Right, OK.
X-rated version of that, because we banter as if we are sitting in the pub. And it's me and Roman at home. So we've had a lot of fun. I spent 3 weeks recording it, and I was crying with laughter, and I loved every minute of it.
How's he getting on with his lie-ins now? Is he enjoying having a bit more
He
time?
loves it, yeah, not getting up, doing that breakfast show every morning. He came to me a long time ago and said, I want to leave. And I said, are you sure? Is this what you want to do? Roman never takes advice from me, ever. He never takes advice about his career. He only takes advice about people. If he's got kind of like a life problem, he'll come to me. From, age and experience, but never about his career.
Yeah. It's so funny. To go to work and just really enjoy it with your boy must be the most amazing.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it is beautiful. You know, to be honest, a lot of the times I look forward to working with him just to see him. Because I know, you know, girls come home. My daughter comes home all the time. She stays with me.
Yeah.
Boys, you don't go home.
No.
Don't say that. I've got two and I'm terrified of that moment.
This is becoming more apparent. My 17 and 19-year-old, I ain't sure they're not coming home.
Once they go, they don't want to come back.
Don't say that.
Because they're usually going round to their girlfriends or something else.
I'm feeling Shirley's pain now. I'm feeling her pain.
Martin, thanks so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
Good luck with the new Saturday night show and the podcast as well.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
Hello there. Sean and Dara are here in the studio now, and we were just discussing.
We certainly were.
Do you still hold a grudge?
No, I like Pat. I was on his show about 4 weeks ago, actually, on his Radio 5 live show when he was doing it in Dublin. So, yeah.
We should explain what they're talking about.
Well, except, so what happened was, I knew he was doing it.
Who's he?
My husband,
Okay.
Patrick.
Sorry,
and
people at home. They were talking while that clip was on.
Sorry, I don't stop talking.
No, she doesn't.
When he came home, he wouldn't tell any of us.
I really kept it a secret.
That was the big thing. He wouldn't tell any of us. Look, he did really pretty well. Look at this.
10 catch. Your time starts again now. What colour is the Essex Emerald Moth?
Red.
It's strong cut.
200,000, John.
He didn't tell a soul. This is my dad's favourite show in the whole wide world. He watches it religiously, and he did really well. Do you feel slightly bitter?
No, I was auditioning for James Bond there, as you can see. So,
Darren, is there a running total when the other chasers get things wrong and they lose? You all add up, go, right, now you owe us £200,000, Sean. We'll add that to the list. You all keep an eye on each other.
We keep an eye on each other, but from a much friendlier perspective, so we support each other. But I held the record for the biggest loss until that went down.
Yeah,
so
goodness.
that was...
So you texted the thanks mate. What was your loss?
Mine was 150,000 for the soccer aid special.
Yes.
And I got absolutely... Same way, got annihilated by a good team, and you don't mind losing to a good team.
There is always that thing, and we're going to come on to Beat the Chase. There's always that thing, Sean, isn't there, that actually, particularly the charity specials, but even the daytime show, as at home, we want them to win. Yeah. But you guys are always sort of trying to bat back that opportunity for them to take
absolutely.
£10,000.
I mean, so far as I'm concerned... Hi, buddy.
Behave
Okay.
yourself.
You're doing really good. So far as we're concerned, you know, we play to win, and my best victories is when I win by about a second.
Yes.
And I love that. Although in saying that, I will go and see the contestants afterwards, whether they win or lose, and I always say, if you beat me, fair play. If you don't, you came here with nothing, and guess what? You're leaving with nothing. Come on, buddy. You're doing really good, kid.
He's after the flow.
We have a tube, buddy.
Yeah,
Buddy's
really
definitely a bit more exploratory.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got used to the place.
So, obviously, you play fair, but does it get competitive between the actual chasers as well? Is there any fighting talk or...?
No, as I say, especially when we do Beat the Chasers, it's the first time we get together as a team, and, sometimes we don't get to see each other on a regular basis. It's wonderful that we all come together as a formidable force.
Yeah.
And although there are certain chasers who are quicker than others, I'm like Timmy the Tortoise when it comes to pressing the buzzer. But we win together and we lose together as a team.
Do you have some sort of Chasers boot camp, Darren, when you get to Beat the Chasers?
Yeah, so usually before we'll do a quiz where all of us are playing with each other.
Who organises that quiz? Who's in charge of that?
The producers do.
Oh, the producers do it, so they're warming you up?
It's proper warm-up, but it's so that we know when to buzz in, when to leave questions. Yeah. And a lot of the time it's telling Mark to, slow down, because he's very, very fast. And maybe sometimes telling... like me and Sean, who are a little bit slower, we need to speed up.
To liven up.
To get the speed to the right level. You can't be too fast because you might buzz in too early. You can't be too slow. And, so it's getting that right.
But we have a strategy when we play Beat the Chase, because obviously there's certain chasers who've got stronger categories than others. I mean, Anne's very good at literature. Paul's good at everything. Jenny's very, very good at sort of... arts and culture, pop culture, and things like that. I'm very good at history and sport and Chelsea. But as I say, unless, we'll always go for the answer if we know it. But as I say, if we're sort of hesitant and it's a sort of special subject on one of the chasers, well, we'll just leave it.
I think the thing that I always love as well, Darren, is that Mark the Beast hides his disdain if one of you gets the answer wrong the worst. Like, if one of you buzzes in and gets it wrong, you can see Mark, and you can always see if he knew the answer. He's, like, sitting there going...
He is very angry about it, but it goes away, and then you go straight to the next question.
Because you've got to get on to the next question.
But he's also the first to hold his hands up. If he makes a mistake, he is the very first person to go, I shouldn't have done that. If that had been one of you, I'd have been fuming, and he's the first one to admit.
And there was one episode where Jenny, you know, very visibly punched Paul, didn't she?
Yeah, because he jumped in on one of her special subjects and got it wrong, which is that's the big mistake.
Okay.
If no one knows, you take a guess, but if it's someone else's special and you're not sure, you leave it to them.
You never do it. OK, so tell us about the show that you've recorded ready for May. Who's on? Who's your favourite celebs?
Well, we're really looking forward to the show itself. It comes out on this coming Monday.
Yeah, so we've got some big names. My favourite is Neil Delamere, an Irish comedian who I have gone to see for years and years since I was a student. In fact, I once had to leave one of his shows because my wife and I were laughing so much we were going to get sick. So it was a really big looking forward to that. David James is coming on.
Yeah, Jamo done very well.
Jamo's going to be smart as well.
Very good. He was one of the people who took 150 grand off me at Soccer Aid.
Right.
He's a really good
Not only is he a smart guy, he's also a smart dresser, so he comes on really, really snappy
sharp.
and snappy. So that's going to be a really good episode.
Look sharp as well.
Yeah.
Because, and then the lovely thing is, Dara, that you've sort of found your place as a chaser, having gone through the hard yards and come through the actual chase itself.
Yeah, being a contestant, it was a very bizarre switch of my life, to be honest.
I mean, was that always in the back of your mind? You think, I love quizzing, I fancy being a chaser?
No, not at all. I went on the show because I needed a back door for my house. We bought a new house. There was no back door. It was only out into the sort of conservatory. It was freezing cold, and we didn't have enough money. We just bought our house, so I said, I'll go on a quiz show and try and win some money.
And the ironic thing about it, Dara answered about 18 questions, and guess how much they won? £6,000.
Oh, you did so well, and you only got £6 grand.
Well, the others on my team were very nervous, and they went for lower offers, and it caused a big storm, and people were going, "Oh, this is unbelievable." They did a fundraiser for me to try and raise the money.
Did they?
Wow.
Yeah, people online, but I won the money I deserved. It's a team game.
It
You
is.
win the amount.
Although
that you
I've
win.
had a mate who's got on the chase, and he did most of the answering with the questions. And when he sat at home going, "Yeah, everyone got a portion of my money." Just
No,
how
it's,
it is.
not, it's not an individual's money. It's a team game. The team wins or the team loses.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Great to
so
see
much
you
for
both.
joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
I'm off to meet Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt for their new movie, The Fall Guy. It's all about stunts. Personally, I like to do my own stunts. Oh, that was a nice ride.
In 3, 2, 1...
The movie The Fall Guy follows the character Colt, played by Ryan, who is a stunt double that has recently had an accident. A year on, Colt ends up getting ensnared in a mystery surrounding the main actor of another movie he's working on. Alongside that, he's trying to woo his former partner and the director of the movie, Jody, who is played by Emily. Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, welcome. It's so good to have you here. Now, Fall Guy, so much fun. It's all about stunts. Did you do your own stunts in a film about actors doing stunts? Or did you, Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling, have stunt doubles helping you out doing the stunts? Thank God I didn't fall over my blunts and stunts.
Well, they call her Stunty Blunty, so it's easy to get them mixed.
That has been my nickname on some movies. I was not as stunty blunty in this one.
You
I
were
feel
so
Ryan
stunty
was
blunty
like,
in this. Are you
I
kidding
did
me?
one fight scene with
You
an
kicked
alien,
some
but that's
alien.
Incredible, but that was the moment.
Everything in this room is a deadly weapon when Stunty Blunty gets
you
her
were
hands
really
on
good.
it.
But I feel he was very stunty in that 12-story fall at the beginning of the film.
I thought that
which
was excellent.
he did himself.
It didn't
do
take
that?
much skill, really. They just dropped me off of a building.
But I feel when you signed on to the Fall Guy, it became apparent you would have to fall at some point. He
figured
was
a
sort of
fall was in
hoping,
them.
hoping off a chair, but no, it
I
was
thought
12
it was
stories.
just falling in love.
Oh no!
Which is the greatest stunt of all, is it not?
Oh,
Is it-
jeez,
is it not?
McGee's. Wow.
And you both...
That was an uncle joke. That one.
Oh, well, now it is.
Now it is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You both
We can
do
cut
that
that
so well, the love between you, I felt, you know. And tell me what...
The chemist, they
what,
call her.
the chemist.
Oh, my God.
call
She
me.
can create chemistry with...
This glass.
Well, look, watch. You don't even need me.
Hi, how are you?
Look at
What's
that.
your name? Oh my...
Look at that. She's charmed by it.
And what's the relationship off camera like?
Like this.
Very good. Oh,
Ryan.
what?
This is not a performative friendship.
Well, you came at me with the uncle jokes. So.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Anyone but him.
Let's talk about the movie because it was so good. I absolutely loved it. I am getting a little bit older now, so when I'm going to a cinema and it's really dark, I do fall asleep for like 10 minutes or so. But don't take offence because I did get the whole story or anything like that. No, I got the
10-minute nap I took?
I got the gist. It was really
got the
good.
gist.
I got the gist of
That's
it.
good.
It was only 10 minutes, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a power nap. It was probably during his scene.
Do it through my parts, it's fine.
Oh, it's Ryan Gosling's close up.
Yeah.
Like that, I get it.
Whilst these two are clearly great mates now, they were both in competition last year as their two movies went head-to-head in what was dubbed Barbenheimer. Not to dig up the past, but I had to ask Ryan about his iconic character. Do you think, Ryan, that Ken will always be inside of you?
Like there might be, is Ken inside of me?
Always.
Yeah, I don't know.
Always.
Hopefully there's like a, yeah, I don't know.
Right, let me just have a look at my questions. Give me two.
We haven't even gotten through one
I
card.
don't think you asked us.
The last time we did an interview, you took over and did the camera. Maybe you should interview me and Emily.
I'll tell you what, I've been wanting to get involved in this.
Go, yeah.
I can interview you.
What is it, the
interview me and Emily.
20s? Why do we have this giant
Okay.
slate?
I want to
This
be
is
with
crazy.
Emily.
Okay.
Yes,
You be the
please.
interviewer. I don't know what I'm doing.
All right,
Okay.
let's do
Hi,
it.
darling.
Okay.
You can make it up. You don't have to read my notes.
No, I'm going to read your
They're
notes.
so dry.
Here's one. Be funny.
Funny.
It's like it's
Yeah,
just a
just be
command.
funny.
Be funny, or
Be
is it a
funny.
reminder to you?
Oh, that was him. That was him.
You can't not be funny. You are funny.
You guys have done
Right.
You're not being
I've
very
got funny bones.
You're not being very
You just
funny.
don't know how not to be funny.
You're not being very funny.
Can you ask Emily this question? Because I'm actually interested in this one.
All right.
Emily, your character as a director in the movie, is directing something you'd like to do?
Have you seen how stressed my character is in the movie?
Very stressed.
Do you think I need that in my life?
I don't feel like you should look for
You
that.
see, this is great. This is why you're a better partner,
Yeah.
because you just agree with everything I say.
I agree.
I feel he's a bit of a contrarian
Do
by
you feel?
comparison. Yeah.
Look at it. He's thinking
Right.
about
I have reason to be suspicious, by the way. It says, Ken will always be inside of you, and inside is underlined. Alison. Alison, you knew what you were doing. You knew it all along.
I think Ryan finally understands my job. And every presenter worth their salt never turns up empty-handed.
Ryan?
Oh, stop it, Ryan.
Oh,
God,
look at this
The
stud.
Fall Guy doll.
Have Ryan give doll. He never.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
God, I'm going to
Pretend
sleep
he
with
gave
it
it.
every night.
That is epic.
It's going to be like sleeping with a mini you every night.
Oh my God.
This is the best. Thank you.
It's literally
is
the least
really
I could do. I
cool.
did.
That is
Oh,
really
I feel like
cool.
I
It's
should
almost
give
like I
it to
did
you.
none of it.
No, I don't even have one of...
Oh, you have
I don't
it.
even have
You
one
have
of
it.
me.
You have it.
No, I see enough of him.
Nobody
That's
wants
true.
it. I'll
Okay.
take it.
Thank you, Ryan.
You're
What a
welcome.
lovely interview. And that's a wrap.
Fantastic. That's a wrap, guys.
It is, guys. It's a wrap.
They always say the sequel will never be as good as the original, but that was absolutely sensational.
It was brilliant.
Loved that,
And
Alison.
I
Well
also
done.
can't wait to see the Fall Guy now.
Yes, not least because our friend's written it.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Really clever.
Used to be a TV presenter on Kids TV.
It doesn't make any sense.
First, though, anyone who's ever visited the This Morning studio will know that just the other side of that wall there, that view, is the Good Morning Britain set. What is a little unusual, though, it has just snuck past 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And if we go to that studio, two of the presenters are still there earning overtime this morning.
Looking so official with the paper shuffle. Richard and Susanna, come on through. Come and join us on our sofa because there is some celebrating to be done.
Yes.
Come on in here.
We need to say happy birthday. Come and
Yep.
join us. This week, Good Morning Britain marks 10 years since we started waking up the nation.
And whether you've been watching since Ben and Susanna said Good Morning Britain for the first time on day one, or, like Richard, you've joined the party a little bit later on, you'll know that top-quality reporting on the decade's biggest news stories has also been accompanied with plenty of laughs.
Good morning, Britain. Welcome to our news show. I'm Susanna Reid, and we're here with you through to 8:30.
Interview terminated because you won't answer the question.
Thanks for watching. Back tomorrow. Have a great day.
And Susanna and Richard are here. Come on in. Here they come! Good sit down. Come and join us.
No, sorry, Ben, I'm going to sit there. This is my gig.
Hello. I normally wave as we go past. Hello, how are you? Are you look well? Nice to see you too.
Have a seat.
I recognise you from somewhere.
It was the grim and distant past. That's how quickly you forget.
Oh, it was 10 years ago, Ben.
10 years.
Isn't that remarkable? And you said to me just as we were about to launch, enjoy this moment because you never get a second chance to launch a programme for the first time.
It was an amazing moment. Do you think you enjoyed it? I'm not sure if that...
I was going to say, do you remember it?
I remember it vividly, and watching these back now.
I don't look like I'm enjoying it. I think we were so full of apprehension and responsibility because it was, you know, to launch a new programme. Yeah.
Big deal.
It's quite a thing, isn't it?
Big responsibility as well to come and sort of do that big relaunch on a breakfast show, and the way we did it and how we were doing it as well. There was a sort of a lot riding. I mean, you've done it.
Well, we're sitting next to the expert who launched this show. Isn't this weird? Yeah, it's weird. No, does it not feel a bit?
How are you finding it?
Loving it. Yeah, loving it. It's a very different tone, a very different rhythm, very different feel.
Very different time of the morning.
Most importantly, very different time of the morning.
What is it like having a lie-in every morning?
It's sensational. I sat and had a cup of coffee with Annie before I came to work this morning. I had you guys on thinking, I'm so glad I'm not there.
So what times do you get up? Like, what's the morning routine?
After you.
3:40, first alarm goes off. 3:45.
You turn them off, though, don't you?
Second alarm goes off, and then 3:50 out of bed and on it. What about you?
Mine is set at... I've got 3 alarms. I set them up for 4:01, 1 minute past 4, because psychologically I can say to myself, I'm not getting up in the middle of the night. I'm getting up early in the morning. But I have 3 because I'm paranoid about sleeping through. And I have a ritual. I set them 3 times the night before. And Judy says to me, what do you know it's set. What do you do? I said, I have to do this.
You do?
Otherwise I don't sleep.
I used to wake up in the night and double-check that I'd set my alarm. But I also had an alarm on the other side of the room.
So I have that too.
I had to get out of bed to turn it off.
Very smart.
And if I didn't, then I'd get a kick.
Have either of you ever slept through? You actually missed your call?
I didn't. Ramvi's the only person I know that did sleep through and turned up about 6:30. We were on air. And she loves it when I remind her of that as well.
So you've named and shamed.
Well,
that would
we
be
named and shamed her on air as
terrifying.
well. The closest you've come to sleep missing a call, have you ever done one?
I've always managed to be there. Yeah.
Come on, you know, Suzanne, she does not make mistakes.
No.
Hold on, but it's live TV. So has anything ever really happened where it's been... Like I got kicked in the head.
Oh,
I saw that by Ed Balls. Of course, we were doing a story about airline seats. Should you put your feet up on the seat in front of you? And as you can see, the evidence shows, no, you shouldn't, because he managed to kick me in the back of the head with the hard heel of his shoe.
That really hurt, didn't it?
It really genuinely did, although he very kindly sent me flowers afterwards.
That was very sweet. But
you
did get whacked
there, though. I did get whacked, but all forgiven. I'm still intact. Although I remember the other moment where something went wrong, which was when I asked a question to Dan Stevens, the actor from Downton Abbey, asking him how he got the part in his new film.
In a slightly different phrase, though, didn't it?
Yes.
He phrased it.
Yes. I don't know if people saw that in the highlights VT or whether you had to edit that out.
That one didn't make the highlights VT.
No.
It made the highlights more or less across the world, though.
Yeah, really. Exactly.
Yeah, the Great British Beat-Off, I think, was how Dan put it.
Yeah.
And even in America, he still gets asked about it now, Richard. Being on TV
we
with
giggled.
us.
We giggled.
I think my moment was the fake tan.
Yes.
It was the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me on live television. Basically, I don't wake up really till I get to work.
Yeah.
So I went down to the kitchen that morning, having got up. It's 4:10. I'd been on holiday. My skin was dry, so I reached into the kitchen cabinet where I knew I kept the moisturiser, slapped on some moisturiser. I thought, it smells a bit funny, a bit coconutty. Oh, well, never mind. When I got to work, I'd put on my daughter's fake tan.
Definitely Chloe's fake tan, isn't it?
Definitely Chloe's fake tan,
yeah, definitely.
But, of course, it takes a while for fake tan to start working, so makeup didn't see anything, you know. I get made up, we start the show, and after about 7 o'clock... look at it. About 7 o'clock, the director said, Richard, have you put anything on your face this morning? And it just got worse. I mean, there's no stopping it. It got worse and worse and worse. And honestly, I was so dark, and the viewers were in hysterics. They're loving it. It was so embarrassing.
We always have had, and one of the things that I've always loved about my time there was the joy and the fun that we had. But of course, we covered some extraordinarily important moments as well, Susanna. In the last 10 years, every sort of major political moment, sort of wars, the Queen's death, sadly, the coronation, and there's some incredible sort of privilege about being there at that time and reporting on those things.
I know, and a real sense of occasion as well, because we were at Westminster Abbey, of course, for the Queen's funeral and for the King's coronation. And you do feel in those moments, they're part of history, aren't they?
Yeah.
And that's when you think, wow, we get the opportunity to report what we're seeing to the viewers at home who can't be here at that moment. And it's quite
It's a cliche, but it's true. It's like you're part of the national conversation in the morning, because a lot of the things that we're talking about and waking up to, so are people at home. And you feel like you're all talking together. And obviously you get the messages on Twitter and stuff. And it does feel like a proper conversation, you know.
Yeah. There's a certain level of responsibility that comes with it as well, I think, and about getting it right in that moment.
Get the tone right.
Intimacy as well. I think that's always the thing that struck me when you're doing breakfast, even shifting till 10 o'clock where we are now. Our viewers have sort of gone about the first part of their morning and then they're coming back for a cup of tea or whatever they're doing. But when it's the first thing in the morning, people are waking up with you in bed. The amount of people that would stop me in the street going, oh, I was naked when I saw you today, Ben.
Well, I remember
That wasn't a viewer.
I remember interviewing James Bond Roger Moore and saying, it's lovely to meet you. And he said, what do you mean, Susanna? I wake up in bed with you every morning.
But the reality of that is you suddenly realise the first thing that goes on in the morning, we are the first people that they hear the news from. We're the first people that they're often hearing, sharing what's going on, whether it's Laura with the weather, whether it's us with the news, whatever. And there's a sort of an intimacy to that, Richard, which is really sort of palpable.
That's why you're talking about getting the facts right, and obviously, and particularly on a news or rolling news show, that's critical. But you use the T word, tone. It's tone that's so important on program, particularly when you're dealing with very delicate stuff, you know. And you do have to sometimes sit back in a commercial break and think, OK, how are we going to quite approach this? What tone are we going to adopt here? Because it's got to be real, it's got to be genuine, but you have to think about it.
And it's also the gear changes as well. I mean, you could be on the red carpet with Tom Cruise pouring him a cup of tea.
Yes.
How was that, by the way?
That was the best selfie I've ever got.
An amazing selfie.
Incredible, Thank you very much indeed, Tom.
And you gave him the G&B mug as well.
Was he a nice chap?
And a GMB flask of tea. I mean, and he didn't go, what on earth is this? He very happily drank.
No expense.
And we all know tea from a flask is not quite as good.
Is it Builder tea as well?
Oh, I don't mind Builder tea.
Yes.
Oh, I love a cup of Builder tea.
But...
Yeah, but from a flask.
Yeah.
But he was perfectly gracious about it, which was lovely. But you're right, then you have to gear change, don't you? Come back into the programme, we've done some devastating breaking news stories as well.
And that's life, though, isn't it? I think the thing that I've been reminded of, and I saw that brilliant article that you did in the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Was the quote that was that Good Morning Britain was going to be axed by Christmas.
Cancelled by Christmas. You haven't, by any chance, got the front, the page 3?
Rub it in.
OK, so this is framed in my dressing room. Good Morning Britain faces axe after a month. You probably can see we have censored the other photograph on page 3 of The Sun from 10 years ago because for younger viewers, yes, page 3 of The Sun used to have a topless model on it.
Yeah.
But the reason that this from 10 years ago is framed in my dressing room is because only one of those two things got cancelled. And it wasn't Good Morning Britain. Page 3 of The Sun no longer has a topless model on it.
The interesting thing about this is I remember this happening and thinking, yes, we've made it, we're on page 3.
I've got 2 stories about that. That happened to us when Judy and I launched in 1988. We launched this programme. I mean, they didn't want it to work, you know? They just... Because it makes a better story if the programme crashes and burns.
Yep.
So I'd say every 2 or 3 weeks we'd see a headline like that. You know, sort of Mr and Mrs Married, they call us. Mr and Mrs Married, cheesy couple, you know, to get chopped by Christmas. And, you know, here you are. How many years later? 35, 36 years later?
Yeah.
And the other thing about getting negative publicity, which is actually quite fun, we road tested Viagra live on the programme.
Yes,
we got 3 couples. All 3 blokes had slight erectile issues, and they all took a Viagra. And we sent them off to a hotel around the corner, and they came back 2 hours later and told us what had happened. Exactly. We asked what had come up, basically, and they told us. On the Daily Mail, the next page of the Daily Mail the next day, it was this the tawdriest 2 hours in British television history? We went, yes. Results.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a real pride for us, isn't there, sitting here and hosting this show. You gave me a really lovely note as well, Richard, that you left in my dressing room, which was really special, and I will keep that forever because that was really amazing. There's real pride with that and for launching the show with you, Susanna, all those 10 years ago, but also where the show's come to. and what the next 10 years look like as well. I wonder what you think about when you think where we were, where we are, and where we're going to be.
Well, I don't think it's going to be cancelled by Christmas.
No.
I think we're pretty well established now. Yeah.
Well, look, it's been a real treat to have you come in.
Oh, it's a treat to be here.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. And congratulations on everything you're achieving.
Can I just say, as an ex-presenter here, and, you know, there have been ups and downs on this programme over the decades since we've had... I think you two are brilliant on it. And I'm not just saying that. I think it's a really good feel to the show. It's really found its...
We're enjoying it immensely.
Lovely time.
And we've even come dressed on brand as well. This is what they've done.
We sat down over there and we're like, oh no.
We've come as the logo and as the set. We've come up in this morning teal.
You look very at home. Good, very well done.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for staying as well.
Yeah.
No,
now I know what's the other side of it.
I didn't realise you were actually this close. I thought we were exaggerating, but yeah,
we've broken the third
Phil's
wall.
going to be cooking later as well, so there's plenty of food.
That's what drew you over, wasn't it? Yeah.
The cheesecake.
Honestly, so good. So good. Jing Lucy, Richard Armitage and Leslie Sharp are joining us now. Hello, all three of you. Thanks
Welcome
for
to the
us.
show.
Thanks for having us.
Jing, I watched the first step last night. Oh, God, it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
How much fun was this to film?
It was a dream. I mean, give a plane with these guys, you know, and some naughty things happening. Brilliant.
So tell us about the premise. So it's kind of mile-high murder mystery. The first episode, like, pretty breathless, so it's brilliant. But what can you let us know what happens? How does the plot develop?
Well, I mean, people keep dying. So other things keep dying, and I finally, around episode 2, I'm like, you know what, maybe you're onto something.
Tell us about your character.
Maybe I might...
Tell us about your character.
I play a detective who is tasked with accompanying this gentleman.
You're kind of babysitting him, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a really... I don't want to do it. I don't want to fly to China and fly back to drop off someone who essentially murdered someone very similar to me. I don't want to do it. And then Richard, obviously, is playing a suspected murderer. So, yeah, it's not a great task. It gets even worse on the plane, obviously, with all the deaths.
But you quite enjoyed filming on the plane, though, right? You enjoyed your little cabin.
Oh, I moved in.
Your slippers down there.
I did.
Your little snacks.
I did.
You were having a lovely time, weren't you?
I did. There was one shot where they were doing a tracking shot, and I was in the galley at the front of the plane, and this camera's just roaming, and it's kind of making its way to me, and suddenly I hear cut, and I'm like, what happened? Did the camera? Technical issue. They're like, Jing's stuff is all in the cubby. We're seeing her slippers, we're seeing her hoodies, like, clear it. Yeah, I was mortified, but I fully moved in.
Having a lovely time. And Richard, what was it like working with Jing and the legend Leslie?
I mean, we got cosy, didn't we? I think Jing took a lot of pleasure putting handcuffs on me every day. But when they were finally off...
pretty tight when I saw it on the...
I like a tight handcuff.
And actually, when we got off the plane, we sort of had this big exhale, and I finally met Leslie in a scene together, and the first thing we did after we'd finished, we were like, I wish we had more, because we just had such a good time working together.
Did you want more of Richard?
I did want more of Richard. I wanted more of Jing. I wanted to be on the plane. Yeah. I was on the ground.
Kids were on the plane.
So who's worked together before? You two have, haven't you?
Yes, I've not worked with Richard before, but Jing and I were both in the final series of Scott and Bailey.
I was also her DC. We're just committed to playing this relationship. I was a DCI in Gangs of London, so obviously I got demoted to play with Leslie. Got back down to my DC
Leslie,
level.
Your character's, what, head of MI5, is it?
Yes, she's come back after a 13-month leave of absence, and everything is kicking off. There are people at work who are trying to get her job, and there's this up in the air.
Do you know what I liked about it? Is it wasn't like, excuse the pun, but like Route 1, it was just like, you've got a great backstory. You've got a great backstory with your family. I haven't found out too much about your backstory yet, but I suppose you're an enigma, right?
He's always dodging his character.
Isn't he? He's got flashes those little foxy eyes at us, and we never know where we are with Armitage. Richard, tell us about the scene that you filmed in Stansted. Because I was watching it going, how in the world did they shut off Stansted, get loads of extras in there, and you were stood on the thing basically going, hey, here it is, look, take a look at it. So those are real punters, right?
Yeah, there's a small group of background artists around me, but you sort of, you only get 1 or 2 goes at doing it before the public sort of twig to what you're doing. There are warning signs up saying filming's happening, but of course no one's paying attention anymore. So you have to be careful not to traumatise people. I think there were a few punters running into W.H. Smith's going, there's a man being arrested.
I wasn't worried about that. I was worried about the guys in Wetherspoons going, "Aye, what are you doing up there?"
Heckling.
Yeah, pretty much.
I did.
What a great scene to do, though, as an actor. Was that great?
It's really nerve-wracking. It's like the first night of a preview on stage. Your heart is thumping because you just think, I can't mess this up.
You've only got one shot,
because you've only got one go, and then it's blown. And no, it was.
And then the old
exciting.
handcuff queen's going to come and take you away.
And Leslie, did you base your character on somebody real?
Well, no, but I did do research about MI5, MI6, and also it's just, if you get to that level of seniority, you know, you've got to have had a real strong track record. And there's this amazing woman called Eliza Manningham-Buller, who was head of MI5. I think she resigned in 2007. And she was fantastic and was absolutely clear that she took the job because she wanted to guard UK citizens and do her duty. She was there to serve. And I think that that runs like letters through a stick of rock. That's what runs through Madeleine Delaney.
Oh, I love it. It's amazing how much goes on behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Yeah.
How many times they save our lives and we just don't know about it.
Seeing, you know, I was reading my notes last night and you know, one of the questions was about representation, and I looked down and you said the last Chinese lead was the Chinese detective. I remember the Chinese detective when I was a kid. It was such a long time ago.
Before I was born.
Yeah.
Before I came to England. I think it was 81, 82. Yeah, the last British East Asian lead was David Yip in The Chinese Detective.
And he's played your dad a couple of times.
Who has played my dad a couple of times, so it's almost like he passed down the legs, who's also a detective. So it's like he's been, I've been training in the family. No, it is mad, and it's what an honour to have something finally happening. Even when I got the scripts for this, I was like, if it's not going to be me, I'm glad it's happening. I'm glad this is coming to our channels.
Richard, I had to ask you about your book as well, Geneva. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, the paperback's out in September.
Well, come back and...
Thanks.
So where did you find time to do that? It's incredible.
On a lot of red-eye flights from New York to London. No, it's kind of my sort of Saturday, Sunday kind of rest. I sit down and write. I'm actually finishing the edits on the second book over this weekend. So, yeah, a newfound pleasure.
Yeah,
well done. And is it true that it was actually filmed on that hijack plane?
I believe so.
Idris Elba?
Yeah.
Slightly cannibalised version of Idris's plane, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're very excited. You're loving it. Are you going to carry on watching it?
Yes, Red Eye continues this Sunday. 9 p.m. on ITV. The full series is available to stream now on ITVX. Thank you.
Jean, Leslie, thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Go and have your picture taken with Alison.
Little Alma.
Now, that's so cute, that little bubba.
She looks like Minnie Me. Yeah, it's a little Glyn.
Is that
little
Alma?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
She's the cutest thing, little ginger nut.
Welcome along.
Yeah, welcome.
So nice
5 years. Where have we been in our lives?
I know.
Where have we been?
Do you know what is so crazy? I never planned to take that amount of time off. And I feel like I came off of my last tour and I did need a break because I'd been on the road for like 6, 7 years. But then like COVID hit and life happened and I was just like, before I knew it, it was like
5 years.
Nearly 6 years since my last album. But you know, in that time, I'll tell you, I've managed to like live and like feel like more inspired. And I think obviously like, you know, I would have loved to release this album maybe 2 years ago. But I think for me, it's like, actually, this album's allowed me to fall back in love with music.
Sure.
Like, going back and listening to records that, like, inspired me to do what I do.
Yeah.
And I think it's so, like, easy in the world that we're living in, with everything so quick and released and so many things out there, to, like, feel really grounded and inspired. And I think for me, like, during this time I think it's been a lot of self-discovery and growing up and maturing, but also, like, in my music as well, and, like, figuring out what it is that I want to kind of put out there and what I want to write about. And, like, listening to, like, I dove back into Joni Mitchell, like, massively. Yeah, do you like her? I love her.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and, like, that process, I was in LA on my own, and I was like, I had no choice but to sit with myself. So I was just kind of like, right, listen to music that you love.
It's like therapy, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. And they're like, she tells stories and she sings with such emotion, and, like, Amy Winehouse as well. I went back to, like, Frank and Back to Black and just, like, really, like, listening to their stories and the emotion. And I was like, how do I even write? OK, cool. I listened to those records and it just made me feel like, OK, I want to go into this process like free, vulnerable and raw and just honest and like not hold back from what it is that feels right.
From the sounds of it, this record is out exactly when it should be out. Like, you know, this is like part that... If you released it 2 years ago, you might not have been ready for it.
Yeah, I guess everything happens for a reason. Yeah, I think that, you know, because I do feel like I'm in a place of, like, a bit more stability in my life.
When I read my notes, I was like, wow, she got to LA. And LA is a really interesting town. You know, I've worked there a little bit. And if you're on your own there, loneliness can just eat you up. But you used it as an inspiring...
I mean, it was real lonely. Like, it was weird. Like, there's times I swear I was going mad. Like, honestly, I was telling the story the other day. Like, I was going through my phone the other day looking for something, and this video, I have to laugh, of me, like, talking to my phone.
What were you saying?
I was just like, do you know what? I was going through something, and I think I was, like, like, basically, living in a hotel is, like, a tough one.
Yeah.
Like, it is.
People don't realise it, do they? When you've got no family around you.
Yeah, you think, oh, you're in LA, it's amazing. I mean, listen, it is amazing, and like, I don't take any of that for granted, but I think it was just that I was sat there and I think I really wanted to, like, write and, like, get out what was going on. And I think I was sat down one day and I think there was a lot going on with my teams and my life and whatever, and I just sat and I was just talking it through on my phone, and it was funny to find it. I was like, wow, you are a different person then.
Yeah, but it's therapy. It's nice that you can be your own therapist. I love the fact that you've gone through that. But with this album, was you ever trying to achieve what you achieved before? Was you thinking, I've got to start from a clean slate here?
Do you know what? I don't think I had any expectation. I think all I wanted to do was just be free in my creativity and just to create amazing music again and just love it. And I think it's been a process. Like, I started it in 2020, then I, like, dipped out again, then I dipped back in again, and then so it's been, like, I think 3 different moments of, like, writing, like, the bulk of the record. And, like, even the, like, latest single, Easy, that's just coming out now, like, that I wrote only in December, and it was, I didn't even know I needed it or, like, I was missing from the album, but I wrote it, and then I was like, we need to put this on the album because I love it. Yeah, it's weird. But it's been a proper process. But I've really, like, enjoyed it. And actually, this week I've just been like, oh, wow, I love music again. Like,
That's so nice.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing feeling.
So you bet you can't wait to get out and play now, can you?
Yeah, no, so I did this gig. Like, I did this really intimate kind of live rendition of the album the other day. Oh, man, like, I loved it. Like, it was me, like, full band, horns, everything, and we created this space. It felt like a living room, and it was just super cosy in this huge, like, industrial warehouse, and invited, like, all my friends and my family and some, like, special fans down, and we just had a moment where I, like, got to just sing and breathe and live the album, and it was, honestly, it was so magical.
Do you prefer something like that or something like Glastonbury more, or is it both the same?
That's wild.
It's a good question, isn't it?
Yeah.
What would you say?
That's a hard one, you know. That's really hard, because what would you say? Nah, I
like
love them both for different different reasons.
Yeah.
Because you know what? In that moment, I could really, like, nurture the moment and be present, I think.
Yeah.
And with Glastonbury, like, whoa, that was
It's
just like
insane.
a big old, like, 80,000 people. You're like, jeez.
Yeah.
It's like a lot.
Is that your standout, do you think, of all the places?
It's definitely a stand-up moment. I will never forget, like, whoa. Like, imagine. And I was stood on the side of the stage and, like, coming up, and I was like, oh, there's not going to be anyone there. Like, you never expect anyone. And I remember walking up on stage at Glastonbury, I was with my team, and I got up there and I heard, like, the crowd, and I saw them, and I ran off and burst into tears. I was like, I can't do it. I was, like, crying, and they were like, Jess. I remember my hairstylist at the time, like, literally, like, slapped me on the arse and was just like, get up there now. I was like, okay.
Well, this is it. Your mum must be so proud. I know she keeps you grounded.
She does, yeah.
What does she think of it? She love it?
Yeah, my family are incredible. My mum, yeah, they're also like, oh my God, finally I put music out again. Come on, let's go to a gig. They love coming to my gigs. They just love it.
Well, it's out now. It's called Jess.
Yes, the album out today. Hammond's touched it, which means it's touched by God.
Is it?
The gold has happened.
Magic.
Apologise for the second bum reference of the day.
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry, mine was the first one. I host the show. I'm absolutely mortified. Don't worry.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Don't worry, physician heal herself.
Jess, first time you've been on this show, can you come back again, please?
Yeah, I love it.
Do not wait for so long.
It's really chill, isn't it? It literally is. We're just hanging out with
So
our mates.
chill.
How are you?
Hanging out with your mates.
Isn't it? I love it.
Thanks, Jess.
Oh, my days. Oh, my Dales.
Oh, nicely played. Beautifully played.
Mark is here with us. Goodness me, we've been gripped by this, Mark. It's always, we love it when these storylines really capture fire and everybody's talking about it. And lots of people will have a different reaction to the different perspectives on it. He's got a lot going on, Marlon, right now.
He's in a moral labyrinth, is where he is, really, and he can't see a way out, because this story, I was just saying before, I don't think it's been told before in this way, in drama. I can't think of a show that's done this story in the way that we're doing it, so it makes me very proud. But, you know, I might be wrong about that, but I don't think so. And what's great about it, like you just implied, is that you go online, you know, you shouldn't really go below the line, because that way madness lies.
Too scary.
But when you do, the opinions really split, you know, and that's what we wanted from it. It was always going to be divisive. It was never going to be a blanket. Yeah, and that's what it is for people, right? And it's so complicated, because even as we sat here right now, the law is evolving to try and catch up with science and you know, the moral complexities of it all.
I think that's one of the best things about... He's chewing my shoe. I wouldn't let anybody do that, you know, but I will let him do it. He was really chewing my shoe. That's one of the brilliant things about soaps, I think, is there isn't that lead time where if you were doing a play or a movie or something like that, soaps can directly reflect exactly what is going on within medicine, science, politics, whatever.
We exist in the same present as the audience, all the time. We're in there now all the time, and it's a unique position, really.
Correct.
But what Rona's done there by changing the plan and suddenly come out, just in terms of their experience and Marlon's experience with her, that's going to be quite triggering, isn't it? Because it's going to sort of bring up a lot of memories.
It does. It's sort of like it throws him into a quandary. He overreacts. You know, he does overreact.
He's quite an emotional character.
He is. But because after he had a stroke a couple of years ago, and he feels that it's left him. He feels slightly inadequate in some ways, and he projects it onto Rona that she's making all these decisions without him, and it makes him think about the past and about how. You know, there's been a couple of times where she's tried to take her son away, their son away from him, and so he uses all this stuff, and he boxes himself into a corner, and it's not her fault. She's just done what she thinks is right, but he thinks she's planned it. He thinks she's just not letting him on the secret, and it's been great to play, because me and Zoe, who played it, we love a row. I love row in
Not in real life.
No, but there's ask any actor, there's nothing better than arguing. I love it.
Yeah. And do you think it's going to kind of, like, just dissolve into oblivion? Because, as you rightly said, he had a stroke previously. I was watching, actually, some old footage of you talking about that and how they did all the makeup on your face.
Amazing, yeah.
And you didn't look until they revealed it.
Yeah, I didn't look. I didn't see it until I saw it in the mirror in the take of the scene, yeah.
Which was amazing.
Yeah, it was horrifying, actually.
Do you think that it could even go there?
Well, I think he does refer to it a few times when he's talking to Paddy, his best mate. He does say, this is stressing me out. And, you know, stress is bad for stroke survivors. It is. It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
But the whole point of the story is that, and the way that he reacts to it and the way that they start locking horns over it is, it could go anywhere. And Marlon's not got a great track record. He's been married 5 times, you know. So he's not got a great
love to give.
He's got a lot. He loves love. He loves love. He's just, you know, he's not consistent. So it's been fascinating to play, and it's been really detailed. And every time you get a script, it's brilliant, you know, because every time you get a script, you're having to make gear changes, you know, about your position, because your position, like the audience's position, is changing all the time.
But didn't they, talking of changing position, didn't they do that when you went in for the character initially? All those years ago. Because wasn't he written, first of all, as like some real Lothario, Adonis?
It literally said, Marlon appears, he is an Adonis, a Greek god. And I looked at the script, and I went into the loo outside the audition room, and I went into the mirror, and I was going, trying to smolder, you know, thinking that. This is not...
How so you do it.
Yeah. So then I went in and I said to the director, this stage direction about him being this beautiful... He went, no, don't worry. He's now a nerd who thinks he's those things. Oh, thanks. Thanks.
I think.
I think we've got a clip which we can all enjoy.
Have you?
Of day one.
Have you?
Never stops getting fun. Here we go.
You better have a good reason for being here, pal.
You better be able to fight with an attitude like that.
Marlon!
How you doing, Mandy?
I've never seen you, Marlon!
Hey, we're Albert's, Marlon. That's me, Uncle Zach. What brings you over here, then? I'd sooner tell you after I bought you a pint. There must be a decent pub round here somewhere. I don't believe today. It just gets better and better.
Different character, different voice.
Amazing, though. And obviously Steve was in that shot as well. And there was a wonderful... You put such a lovely tribute on your Instagram to him. Sadly, you've all lost him. And it feels like the Dingle family and his role in the Dingle family and how it's integral to all of you were as characters, but also as a young actor coming onto that set must have been really important.
He was the first person to hug me. He was the first person to say, don't worry. He was the first person I went to when I had any problems. And everybody loves Steve. Everybody, I mean, we are a family on that show. And the Dingles are a family within that family. And he was very much our patriarch. But he was so young at heart. He was an example of how, you know, to stay being young at heart. And he was always one of the funniest human beings. Everybody misses him terribly. It's a massive loss, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, you must just have the most amazing time on that show because you have been there for all those years, and now it's round the other side. It's a real full circle moment where you turn around and you're winning an Outstanding Achievement Award.
Outstanding Achievement March. I think I messaged you on the day.
Yeah,
it's about time.
It was lovely, and you know, you're meant to be cool about awards and stuff like that, aren't you? You're kind of well, but it was lovely. It was a lovely thing to get, and it blew my mind on the night because I had no idea. And three of Marlon's exes were up there presenting it, and it was an amazing night, and I don't even know what I said on the stage afterwards, but I do know that it does, when you've been in something that long, I'm not going to lie, it meant a lot to me. It was lovely.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's sensational. And long may it continue. It feels like, you know, obviously this storyline's got a long way to run, but it feels like you're still sort of embracing the challenge of being there and being part of the day.
I think if you're still worrying about it when you go home after you've done work, I think that's a really good sign.
Yeah.
And you know, never take it for granted, never assume there's another contract. You just do your best all the time. I'm an anxious person anyway, so my anxiety is perfect for this job. It keeps you on your toes, you know.
We'd quite like to see some Greek-inspired cooking from Marlon at some point.
I'm all over it.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, sold.
The lamb chops.
I won't drop the fork this time.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
No, that's part of the charm. Part of the charm.
Lovely to see you, Mark. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Now, our next guest is known as TV's tough guy, having served as a Royal Marine Commando in some of the
world's
world's
made you giggle then, didn't it?
most challenging...
It did a little bit.
Heard it before. He now uses his specialist training to put some of our favourite celebs through their paces on SAS. Who Dares Wins.
And some of those who aren't our favourite as well, which is equally as satisfying. For his latest mission, Jason Fox is hoping to inspire others with a brand new book, Embrace the Chaos. And Fox is here to tell us all about it. Jason, great to see you this morning. Embrace the Chaos sounds a little bit like most parents' morning routine, trying to get the kids up and get them to school. It's a slightly different approach that you're taking with the chaos you're talking about embracing as well.
Well, not really. I mean, life's chaotic, isn't it?
Yeah.
So everyone tries to avoid it, but I think we should try and embrace it because it's something that is always there. And so embrace the chaos. There we have it.
And it says 52 tactics to make every day count. So is it like you do one a week, or is that how you set it up? Or is that just breaking it down into bite-sized pieces so anyone can take a little bit away?
It's the bite-sized piece thing.
Right.
But ultimately, initially, I wanted to break life down into like a pack of cards, so you could basically pick a card and you don't have to read it from, you know, cover to cover.
Yeah.
You can just pick, you know, a tactic to work on a week.
Yeah.
And you can just pick them out. And so, you know, we turned that pack of cards into a book.
Because I love the chapter that's on the fear factor. To me, that's a really important thing. It's to do something that scares you a little bit semi-regularly, just so you feel, I think just so as a human being, you feel small again. And I feel like you're absolutely right when you say it makes you feel alive.
But I think you grow from fear as well.
Yes,
you know,
true.
Making yourself uncomfortable. We're scared of being uncomfortable a lot of the time. And yet, when you put yourself in those uncomfortable situations, you become used to it. Then you've grown. You've
and you suddenly
developed.
go, wow, I can do things.
Yeah.
Things that I'm really scared of, I can do.
All these things are things you've learned on various missions across your career, various experiences. What other stuff's in there, Jace?
It's a lot of. To be fair, there's like with my journey, I forgot about what I'd learned in the military, and then I went through. You know, I had a bit of a stinker. Went through that period, revised and reminded myself of what I learned.
When you say stinker, I mean, that's a sort of just explain a little bit what you mean by stinker.
Oh, right, OK, yeah. So I was medically discharged from the military from my career with PTSD, depression. I had mental health issues. And, you know, I had a difficult time transitioning from the military into the civilian world. You know, I contemplated suicide, that sort of thing. So that's what I mean by stinker.
So you're having to go back, which is one way of describing it. I mean, that's how you compartmentalise it, I guess. You look back on that period of your life as very informative in terms of how you're behaving now.
Yeah.
But having to go back and relive those moments in order to put the learnings in this book, was that difficult? Did it bring back some quite difficult memories for you, Jason?
I mean, I've done that with the first book. So when doing it for this one, and then also looking at things that I've done since that sort of fuzzy period, yeah, I actually enjoy it.
Do you?
Yeah. The guy that I sit down and do the books with, Matt, is an amazing friend. We have a great time. We sort of get a little bit sad about certain things, but then we laugh about it afterwards. So, yeah, that has been my most favourite book to do so far.
Which, I suppose, is how life is. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry. What's interesting about it, and I think maybe this helped with kind of getting you over the stinker, is you talk about routine in here a lot. It's almost like you employ the military routine into everyday life. And actually, that's something that we can benefit from too, especially waking up and going to sleep and all those things.
I think routine's important, but the thing that I do talk about in the book is not to be governed by routines, to make sure that you've got a flexible routine, have some non-negotiables, but sometimes you might have to manipulate the routine to fit in with whatever the day throws at you. So you're still doing it, but it might not necessarily be normally when you do it.
Yeah.
You're still ticking it off.
Can you learn to be more spontaneous? Because I think the difference between me and Annie is that she likes things to be ordered, she takes routine and she has to stick with it. And if I suddenly do what I do, which is I'm all over the show and say, oh, let's go and do this, she really struggles with that. Do you think there's things that people can help with that? Because as you were saying, sticking to the routine can be quite sort of like restraining.
It can be restraining. I think if you allow yourself to, if you can test yourself by being a little bit more flexible with a routine, being a bit more dynamic, then you'll gradually get to the point where it doesn't phase you out. It doesn't freak you out. You're like, OK, fine, something's changed. We're going to do something else. But that's cool because I know how to adapt my routine into, you know, that unseen eventuality.
We've got to talk about the new series of SAS, Who Dares Wins, as well. Because have you got two? You've recorded one already. Is there another one on the way as well? And where are you doing it? And what can you tell us?
We've done one already that hasn't gone out. We filmed in New Zealand, which is brilliant.
Amazing.
How was that?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was amazing.
Like Lord of the Rings. But...
Yeah, it was, very much so, yeah.
You were Sauron.
Gimli. Yeah, no, it was awesome. We got a great cast. I don't know whether they've been announced, so I'm not going to start talking too much about them, but they are very, very good.
There's all sorts of rumours that it's coming to Wales, Foxy.
I've not heard any rumours about that.
Would you fancy a series in Wales, though?
We did Wales on the first season. The first ever SAS was in Wales.
Right.
So, I mean, Wales is an amazing place. If we go there, great, but I don't know. I'm not sure where we're going yet.
OK. Who's been your favourite celebrity you've had on so far?
Favourite?
Yeah, why?
So, favourite... So, the person that has basically surprised us and done unbelievably, probably the best one we've had, he pipped Wayne Bridge to the post now, was Gareth Gates.
Yeah.
He massively surprised us.
He was great, wasn't he?
He was a machine.
Was he?
Yeah.
Wow, and coming from him, that's high praise indeed.
He was cool, really good.
Where does Matt Hancock rate in your favourites, Jace?
I mean, he turned up and... no, hang on, he turned up. Yeah. There's a lot of laughter.
He was being paid to be there as well, though, so...
Yeah, no, he turned up. He put a shift in. He would put 110% in, but, you know, he just... You know, he never let his barrier down. We didn't know whether we could trust him.
Right.
He didn't do enough to show us that he was willing to put it all on the line for other people around him.
Right.
It's one of those things that's so important about that process is you strip everybody down. They have to sort of allow themselves to hear what you're saying and then they come out stronger. I think the majority of my friends that have been able to do it, that I've spoken to, and I've seen Wayne since he's done it, lots of people since they've done it, and they all say sort of how much they grew across that period, and they weren't necessarily expecting that. They thought it was going to be tough.
Yeah.
But to come out the other side feeling different about themselves.
I think you've got to allow yourself to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
There's a lot of strength that comes from that, and if you're not willing to go there, then we can tell that they're not being honest with us. And it's like, well, you know, you're not really buying into it. You're just playing the game, and that's not good enough.
Well, we'll look forward to the new series.
Absolutely.
The one in New Zealand, and good luck with the book as well.
The book is called Embrace the Chaos. It's out today, and you're off on book tours and signings. Thank you.
Now, have you ever been approached for any celebrity shows yet, Jace?
Like
There's
what?
Strictly's looking right now. Would you? Is there a dancer in there, Jason?
There's no dancer in it.
Masked singer.
I'm allergic to sequins.
Singing? Is there some Is there a hidden singing in there?
I've not tried it.
Okay, but you wouldn't say never say never.
No, face the fear.
The thing that the fear that
quite catty.
Yes.
It's not that I'm scared of it. I'm scared of cooking. I'm useless at cooking. I'd probably do something along those lines.
So Master Chef or Bake Off?
Something like that, yeah.
Ready for it. Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
There you go.
Calling all those baking shows, Foxy's ready for some action.
Thanks, Jason.
Nice.
Lovely
Thank
to see you,
you.
Jason.
Very nice to see you.
Right.
And Sue is already making us laugh.
Sue.
Sorry.
And she joins us now.
So, like, literally, you're the love child of Dickinson and Sugar. That's what it is. Bargain hunts.
Yes, sort of orange and intense. That's how I like to roll.
I have watched the first episode.
so good.
And I'm absolutely gripped. I loved it, Sue.
Thank you.
There's a very sort of fascinating element to this because we all like the idea, and we see it across social media, of a side hustle.
Yes.
We all
Yes.
like the idea of being able to make a bit of money on the side. And actually, could that bit of money we make on the side
Yeah.
end up being significant, which is
Yeah.
exactly the challenge for your contestants, isn't it?
It is. I mean, the great thing about this show is it doesn't need a lot of explaining because it's all done in the title. So it's double the money. I start off, I give 13 pairs of contestants 250 quid and say, come back in 24 hours with 500. And if they do, they stay in. 500 to 1,000, 1,000 to 2,000, you know, and so on it goes.
Yeah.
Slightly longer periods of time each time.
Yeah.
And they have to do a different business venture every time. And
Every
that's
single time. It
every
can't
single
relate
time.
to the previous.
No.
Oh, they can't go,
Oh, I
those
didn't-
samosas
that's
sold
the
really
bit-
well. Let's do more samosas.
That's great.
Or fortune
Tutty
telling.
Bison.
Yes. Or pork products.
I mean, pork products is everyone's side hustle. I mean, that's a given. I mean, you've gone straight for the obvious there.
But the really interesting thing is they have to hold on to, like, their day jobs too. This is on the side, isn't it?
Yeah.
This show.
Well, so the contestants, they're pairs. Sometimes they're in a relationship. They might be, I don't know, father-son. They might be grandparent, grandchild. But so some of them are retired. So some of them don't have a main job. But you're right. A lot of the time they are trying to balance the stresses of everyday life with the hell that I'm putting them through, and they are brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, the success of the show is entirely theirs to own. They are brilliant, and they come up with incredible things, from samosa-type stuff to tantric sex workshops, which is not everyone's go-to for a side hustle. And I was thinking, it's great, but will it work?
Yeah.
It
really does.
They brought me such joy and such fun, and they also make a lot of cash.
Do they? So do they get right to the end? Like, they're making...
Some of them do.
And then the ultimate prize is
25 grand.
But if they make more,
If they make more, then they take more, and they do make more. I mean, it's extraordinary. And just in a matter of months, they've gone from 250 quid to that extraordinary sum of money. I get quite tearful.
I bet.
I do, because A, I really love them and I'm very invested in them being happy and successful. But also I think at the moment it's a very timely show, you know?
Everybody's trying to...
Everyone's struggling and everything's uncertain.
Yeah.
And to see their grit and enthusiasm and dynamism is like a shot in the arm for me, actually. Because, you know, I've been doing the same job forever and I'd like to thank everybody right now for keeping me in work. But, yeah, I was really impressed by them. It's great. And it's also, it's not a London show. You know, they come to London to get their cash and they go off to wherever they're from and they use their mates and their contacts and what's happening in their own backyard in Shropshire or Devon or wherever it might be.
Yeah.
So it feels like a really boutique, cute thing.
Would you be any good?
Terrible.
Have you not learned some tricks from them all? What about the haggling?
No, I'm terrible. I come from. I'm the child of car salesmen, and I don't have the patter.
It should be in your DNA, then.
It is in my DNA, but then I'd be like this. I'd be like, I'm selling these tacos for £5, and someone goes £3, and I go, yours for £2.50. I don't have. I've got the chat, but I don't ever want to
I don't want to push anyone.
There's a lot
over.
of front involved, isn't there?
Too soft.
But you're a stand-up comedian.
Ooh.
I mean, that's all fun, isn't it? That's being up there and selling an idea, selling a joke.
Yeah, but I always change the idea if it's not working. So and I sort of go, oh, we'll just move. We'll do something different then if you're not liking that. So I think part of my job is being the chameleon and actually shape-shifting to try and please people. Whereas if you're running a business, I think you have to have a very strong idea of what you want and push through that. And I just sit on the sidelines and make silly jokes and adore them, and I'm hugely impressed. Yeah.
Well, wouldn't you say your side hustle is travelling? Maybe too.
Yeah, I like that.
Kind of.
Yeah.
We were having a really interesting chat where Tom was talking, and he thought you'd gone. Where was he talking about?
He
And I
was, no,
thought you
he
were
was talking about
Alaska.
ayahuasca, the hallucinogenic drug that is often taken in South America, and you were talking about Alaska, the final frontier. Yeah. I mean, it was an incredible.
A couple of extra consonants and a different continent. But...
Yeah, and a very different concept. So I was trying to entertain both of these concepts. It was amazing.
I think you've done both, though, haven't you?
I've done both.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't do it, kids.
That's why we were talking about it. But did you love Alaska, though?
I absolutely loved Alaska. Yeah, it's one of the last places on Earth where you can go somewhere and you're the first boots on the ground. You know, I've been to places where no human beings have been, and I feel conflicted because on one hand it's great, and on the other hand they could have. I'm the first one. They could have had anybody. Yeah. So, but most of the places I go are much busier than that. I'm just done a trip to Thailand, which is
fabulous.
Yeah,
and that is the road most travelled. I don't.
Yes.
Was it Alaska where you had a run-in with the wildlife?
Yeah, I'd say it was quite a full-on experience.
You had a little moment where you thought you could bond with a baby moose.
Yeah, I was going to feed the baby moose, and then the baby moose was much bigger than I expected and quite violent. And there's me just. Yes, my shoulder was almost dislocated during that experience.
You need the Gina Ford method there.
Yeah. Try telling a moose it's got to cry it out. Yeah.
You're not as disciplined as you need to be. Too much too soon.
I had no core. You guys would be fine. You've got great core. You're forever young. Me, I was just basically blasted against a fence and panicked.
So you've just done Thailand as well?
Yeah, that's how I think on 5 and it's sometime in May. Keep your eyes peeled and yeah. Double the money's out. I think it's
9th of May.
9th of May.
9th
Thank
of May.
goodness for you and your professionalism, guys.
Channel for 9th of May.
And thanks for getting behind it. It was such fun to do.
Good luck with it.
Brilliant.
I can't wait to see who ends up getting all the way to it. Having seen that first episode.
I know.
I mean, the grandma and the grandson that get cold drinks to sell on a beach when it's raining.
And I hope the dating couples stay together and don't fall out. They were like newly... Oh, we've got to watch more.
No, I'm not saying anything, but I'm really glad that, you know, those first shows are always hard because there's 13 groups.
You've got to get to know them.
But, Lord, you'll be super pleased with what happens, I think.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
Thank you, Sue, for popping in.
9th of May, Channel 4. He's the star of stage and screen who shot from humble beginnings to become one of Britain's most acclaimed actors.
Yeah, from his world-renowned Shakespearean performances to Hollywood film roles and, of course, his portrayal of the ruthless media mogul Logan Roy in the hit series Succession. Brian Cox has over 240 credits to his name.
But Brian says that his latest role in the West End show Long Day's Journey into Night has been his toughest to date. He joins us now to tell us more. You're doing 8 shows a week.
8 shows a week.
And it's a 3-hour long play?
Oh, yeah, on a matinee day, I have to get up at 10:30. Well, I get up earlier than that. Well, no, because I finished very late the night before. So I don't. So I have to be on the move from 10:30 for a 1 o'clock matinee, and then I do it again at 7 o'clock, and then by the time I get home, it's midnight.
So the question has to be asked, then, Brian, why are you doing it?
I have no, and I won't say the F word, but I have no idea.
Well, we had Sir Ian McKellen in last week, and he's playing Falstaff at the moment in the West End as well. And
he's just opposite me. He's just he's an old pal.
And he said he was exhausted too.
Yeah. It's knackering. You know, we're not getting any younger. He's a little older than I am, but we're not getting any younger.
But equally, can't live without it.
Well,
the theatre, the performance scene, there's a bug in there, Brian, that keeps coming back.
Yeah, it's the conditioning, really. You know, if you've trained in this country and we are the theatre. That's what we do more than anybody, and we do it better than anybody else. Well, we don't always do it better. That's not true. That's a generalisation. But it's a tradition. And, you know, having done 6 years of Succession, I thought, I really got to go back to the theatre. And I was wondering, what's the play I want to do? And this Long Day's Journey into Night was the play I wanted to do. And I wanted to do it with a particular actress called Patricia Clarkson, who is absolutely magnificent in the play. And I got my wish, and we're doing it.
Can you tell us a little bit about it? Because I know that there's elements of it that you really relate to your own childhood as well.
He's a product of... It's Eugene O'Neill's own story, but he tells it with different names of the characters.
Yes.
He uses the name Tyrone instead of O'Neill. And it's about his family, and it's about him... as a young man, he's about 23 in the play, and he's got an elder brother who's a complete alcoholic. And he has a mother who's a morphine addict, and she's just in a state of recovery. And then his father was this quite well-known actor who became a sort of matinee idol when he was young, called James O'Neill, James Tyrone in the play. Yeah. And his great thing was he did the Count of Monte Cristo, which he toured, but he felt that he sold himself out because he came from Ireland when he was 10. He worked in a machine shop learning to make files for getting 50 cents a week. So he had a very rough start to his life, and then became this, he was quite good looking when he was young. He became this matinee idol. And so there's a lot of elements like my background, which I had my level of poverty, and also being Irish, of Irish extraction. And also my family all came at the same time, what they call the Great Hunger, what I would call the famine.
Yes.
That's when they all came. My people went to Scotland. A lot of people went to America, including James O'Neill's family. So that's what the story is about. He wrote the play. It was the last play, the penultimate play he ever wrote. And it was a play that he used to come out every day crying. He would be pouring with tears, Eugene O'Neill. And he also wrote the play, and it was never to be performed. It was a play that he hoped would be published 25 years after his death. But then he had this wife called Carlotta Monterey, whose real name was Hazel Thrashing. And,
That's a great name.
Wow. She then was persuaded by a very successful director in the 50s, to do a production of Long Day's Journey. And she said, on one of her conditions was that she got a case of Courvoisier a month.
Oh, how nice.
A month.
One case a month?
Yes.
Sounds like my kind of woman.
We can imagine what she went through.
Hazel thrashings indeed.
Yes, exactly. Quite thrashing, quite a lot. So anyway, she did that, and the play went on. And again, it was never meant to be performed. It was meant to be read, and 25 years after his death. So I don't know what he would have made of it, but then he was dead, so he wouldn't know any difference,
Fabulous part for you, particularly after, as you say, the years doing Succession and Logan Roy. And I've interviewed plenty of times. I've interviewed you a number of times about Logan Roy and Succession. I wonder where that character sits for you, Logan Roy, in the vast range of characters you've played.
Well, I can't ignore it. It was one of the great parts of all time, and it had its... And I was able to kind of make a sort of... I mean, I think Logan, for me, was very misunderstood. Because all he wanted to do was have these kids of his, who are totally useless. He wanted one of them, to take over the business. Yes. He was hard, he was tough, he was self-made. But it was just one of those gifts. And what I loved about it was its spareness. He never overplayed. No. He came in at that level. And of course, that's thanks to the wonderful Jesse Armstrong and his incredible team of writers. So it was a great experience.
Yeah. And I love that your heritage had an impact on Logan, though, because you started off recording the series and he was somewhere from Canada.
Oh, yeah, but
halfway
he
through
was,
series one, he was
exactly, in the
Dundee.
9th episode. And the 9th episode of the first series, Peter Friedman, who plays Frank, who I keep hiring and firing and rehiring, he said, "Oh, by the way, they've changed your birthplace." And I said, "What do you mean they've changed my birthplace? I was born in Quebec, Canada. I've been playing this kind of monkey, mid-Atlantic Canadian." He said, no, apparently you're born... And I said, "Where?" And he said, "Well, I can't remember." Then he got it, and he said, "Oh, yeah, somewhere called Dundee, Scotland." That's where I was born. So, of course, now the people in Dundee are very happy because we did a whole episode called Dundee, which we went back to Dundee. And it was kind of weird to go back playing that role, who had had such a difficult time. And I didn't have a too easy time, too, because of what happened. Except I didn't notice. I just got on with it. Yeah. But it's kind of weird.
And we have to talk about the funeral. So you were on your way to do the scene, and they said, "Oh no, don't come. It's the funeral."
Right.
And then you said, "No, I should come in case there's any paparazzi."
Well, that's
there.
right, and I changed it. They said you can go home, and I said no. And as soon as I walked out of the car, the paparazzi were there, so that helped kind of quell the idea that it was my funeral, you know.
There was a headline, wasn't there? So you were there, and they listed, so who's died? That was the point.
Yeah.
They had that picture of
that's
you.
Right, that's
I'm,
right.
I'm fascinated, because in amongst your very busy working schedule, you're now going to be directing as well, Brian.
Yeah.
I mean, is it the first time you've directed?
I'm an idiot. No, I am. I am a classified idiot. I mean, at my age, that's how old I am.
No, it doesn't.
I finally decided that I'm going to direct a film in Scotland called Glenrothen, and I'm going to have Alan Cummings playing the lead, Shirley Henderson. So we've got some great actors in it, and it's a great script written by a wonderful writer who I've been working with since 1999.
Yeah.
I do radio. Do you remember radio?
Vaguely,
I love radio,
Yeah.
and I did a series called McCleavey, which was about an Edinburgh detective, which I did for a whole number of years. And David wrote that, and then he came up through Neil Zeiger, who's a mutual friend and a producer. He came to David and said, "Write this, Brian, direct it." And I'm going, "I've never directed, you know."
I love it. I love it. Always time to do a new experience.
Well, that's the great thing, you know. When you get to my age, you think, "What's new?" But it's always new.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning.
My pleasure.
The play is on until June 8th.
The Loose Women are up next. Oh, yes, quickly, yeah.
This is important. There are 50 seats available.
£25 per show.
£25 every night.
Amazing.
Okay.
There you
That's
go. We've got
brilliant.
Sorry.